Okay, we're live.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Perth East Council, this second day of November. Call the meeting to order. If everyone could please bow their heads for a moment of reflection. Thank you. Is there anything anyone would like to add to the agenda? Carol?
Yeah, just a verbal here under new business in regards to archive Zoom council meetings.
Okay. Anyone else? Carol?
As well, just a verbal here under new business in regards to park closures in regards to COVID-19 outbreaks within the municipality.
Can you say that again, Daryl? I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
Yeah, park closures.
Oh, park closures?
Yeah,
Okay.
in regards to COVID-19 outbreaks within the municipality.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, anyone else have anything they wish to add? If not, we need to approve the agenda as amended. Moved by Andrew. Second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Okay, if you have pecuniary interest, you can disclose that now or as the meeting goes along. Under consent agenda, we have 10 items. Is there anything anyone has questions on or they would like pulled? Nope. Okay, then we need a motion to accept the items 5.1.1 to 5.1.10 as set out on the consent agenda for November 2nd, 2021 regular meeting of council be received for information. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we have no public meetings. We do have 2 public hearings. And our first public hearing is the application for minor variance by Pool Manufacturing Limited. So council will now temporarily adjourn to sit as committee of adjustment pursuant to section 45 of the Planning Act. I now declare this virtual public hearing open. This virtual public hearing is being held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Pool Manufacturing care of Mervyn M.J. Martin and described as concession 3 and 4, part lot 16 and RP 44R 103, parts 1 and 2, Mornington Ward 6551, Perth Road 121. The purpose of this hearing is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the proposed application and receive their input and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending this hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Due to COVID-19, public hearing procedures have been adjusted to adhere to provincial guidelines for holding electronic meetings. Any person who wished to be heard regarding this matter was asked to register prior to this meeting by the deadline of Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 12 noon with the municipal clerk. Any person who wishes to receive written notice of the decision made by the Committee of Adjustment is asked to email their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer following this hearing. An appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal objecting to the decision made at this hearing may be filed with the Secretary Treasurer not later than November 22nd, 2021. No written notice except as previously noted will be given unless requested at this time. I will now call on Planner Adam to present the planning report and recommendations. Adam, the floor is yours and welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship, members of council. Good evening.
And I'm going to share screen and walk committee through this application. And can everybody see the report in front of them, the text?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, so you should see the variance here, kind of in the top of the screen. Okay, so this application is a minor variance to section 3133, which is the maximum secondary farm occupation floor area. The Perth East bylaw currently allows 365 square meters maximum, and the applicant wishes to reallocate some of the welding shop use within an existing building, which would bring the occupation floor area up to 462.3 square meters. And that's a variance of 95.6 square meters, or just a little over 1,000 square feet. And I'll show an air photo of the property. So the subject property is on Perth Road 121. It's a large agricultural lot. It's a farm, and it's just south of Millbank. And just to zoom in a little bit, this building here is gone. The farm cluster is basically the house here. This is a livestock facility with silos, and then this is the welding shop here. And there's a part of the building that's currently used for agricultural storage, which is what the applicants wish to reallocate for the welding shop use. And just zooming in a little bit more here, this just gives us a bit more detail. So again, here's the beef barn, and basically the north end of the building, that 1,030 square feet, is where the variance would occur. It's within an existing building, so we're not looking at any expansions of the building, just reallocation of the interior floor space. This sketch here just shows you the existing operation. And again, we're looking over here. This farm storage would become part of the storage for the welding shop. And just some site photos. So I've kind of done a red line here to show you where that firewall is. So basically this area of the building would become part of the secondary farm occupation, and the variance is to allow that use within this existing building. And this is just looking southeast. And this is where we're looking north between the existing barn, and the shop is over here on the right. This is looking out towards 121. We are quite a ways back into the property. Property was posted in accordance with the Planning Act. And this final shot is just to show that the secondary farm occupation is not visible from the road. It's behind these large agricultural buildings. So staff have reviewed the application. We've used the 4 tests of variance. In this case, staff have no objection, and we recommend approval of the application, subject to the conditions in the staff report. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that committee may have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. So no one registered to make a presentation or speak in opposition. No one registered to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent. The applicant, Solomon Martin, has registered to speak with respect to the application. Mr. Martin? Hello, Mr. Martin. The floor is yours if you wish to speak.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I have nothing to say really, just here to answer questions if you have any.
Okay. Are there any questions from committee members? No questions. Okay. We do have a motion that the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment approve minor variance D13-A13-2021-PE submitted by Pool Manufacturing Limited, affecting lands known municipally as 6551 Perth Road 121, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, that the minor variance only applies to the development consistent with the application drawings And number 2, that the owners obtain the necessary building permit within 2 years of the approval of the minor variance. Do we have a mover? Moved by Daryl, second by Jeremy. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, we will move now to our second hearing. It's a minor variance by Mary Kate and Matthew Zepp. So this public hearing is being held to consider an application affecting property currently owned by Matthew and Mary Kate Zepp, described as concession to part lot 19, Southeast Hope Ward, 2138, line 33. I believe the preamble is all the same, so we're going to jump right down to Adam. So Adam, the floor is yours.
Thank you again, Your Worship. And once again, I'll share screen and walk committee through the application. So up on screen is the proposed variance. So this is a reduction in the front yard setback. The bylaw currently requires 15 meters or 50 feet, and they would like to do a dwelling addition on the west side of an existing non-complying house. The house that's there is already closer to the road than the bylaw allows. And these additions would be 8.22 meters from the road. That's for the, sorry, this should say greenhouse addition. And then the other part of the addition is the main house, and that would be 12 meters back from the road, requiring variance of 3 meters. And I'll just walk council through. So the subject property is on line 33. This road was paved recently, so it is a paved asphalt road now. This property is just south of Shakespeare. It's about 2 concessions south of Shakespeare. The majority of the area is agricultural uses, with some of these smaller farmhouse lots. So the site sketch, I'll just zoom in on the relevant part of it here. So the existing dwelling is in blue, and that dwelling is 26 foot, like just under 27 feet from the road now. The house is many, many years old, predates any of the zoning that we have. And what the applicant would like to do is put a breezeway connection to a workshop and garage addition, and then there'd be a greenhouse attached on the front of the building. And these 2 additions would actually be further back from the road than the existing main dwelling. The greenhouse would be approximately the same distance, and the house addition, the garage addition, would be back a fair amount compared to existing. And just walk committee through some site photos. So this is the property, was posted in accordance with the Planning Act. This is the existing house. And that addition that you just saw in the site sketch would actually be back here behind these small trees. And there's some, oh, I forget the name of these. This is looking north from across the road. Existing house is here. The garage addition that's proposed over on this side, there would be a driveway that kind of loops in behind the house and then comes in kind of a drive-out style garage at the back. So this picture is looking northeast from across the road. The addition would be behind this this tree growth here, and it would be up the property actually has a good elevation up above the road, so it would be at the top of this crest and in behind the tree buffering. And again, just another view of some of the foliage between the road and the proposed addition. And this is just the ditch area that would be in front of the addition, which would be in behind these tree covered. And this is just, I'm standing basically where that garage addition would be, looking southeast. Existing house is here, and again, we're behind the tree line. And just another photo standing in the middle of the garage addition at the back of the house. So again, staff have reviewed this application against the 4 tests of variance. We have no objection and recommend approval of the application, subject to the conditions that are outlined in the staff report. I'd be happy to answer any questions committee may have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. No one registered to make a presentation or speak in opposition. No one registered to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or the applicant's agent. The applicant or the applicant agent did not register to speak in respect to the application. Are there any questions from committee members? Amanda?
I just have one. So I just want to be clear. So the tree buffer will remain. I see that there's like one larger tree in the back. Will that be taken down, or is it all the trees going to remain, just out of curiosity?
Through your worship, good question. There's one, I think it's a maple that's in behind there where I was standing, and that maple would be in the building envelope. But I don't know if the applicant is online, if they're registered to speak. I don't know if they're planning on taking those trees out, but on the site sketch, there is a notation there that says they want to put in a new stone wall, and then they are going to replant. So if they do take anything out in the front there is a landscape plan that is with that site sketch that shows additional plantings. So there will be a good buffering there regardless.
Okay, anyone else? Committee will now consider a motion regarding the application. The motion we have is the Township of Perth East Committee of Adjustment approved minor variance D13-A14-2021-PE submitted by Mary Kate and Matthew Zepp, affecting lands described above and known municipally as 2138 Perth Line 33, subject to the following conditions. Number one, that the minor variance only applies to the proposed accessory structure consistent with the application drawing. And number two, that the owners obtain the necessary building permit within 2 years of the approval of the minor variance. Do we have a mover? Moved by Amanda. Second by Carol. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. I declare this virtual public hearing closed. Okay, now we'll move on to reports. We have no planning reports, correct? Nothing from the CAO, nothing from the clerk. Then we go to finance. 2022 fees and charges. Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. This report outlines the proposed fees for the 2022 budget. The water and the building fees, they will be reviewed in February. And for your information, the planning fees have been left as is, as this is the first year of the new planning services agreement, and it ends in March of 2022. And generally, the fees have increased by CPI. And I noticed on page 59, the CPI rate quoted there, 1.317, should be 1.758. That is last year's CPI that was listed on there. The fees are calculated using the 22 CPI rate. So if there are any questions, they can be directed to myself or the department managers. And that's all I have.
Okay, any questions on this report? Hugh?
Sorry, on page 73 for Wes, do you ever, like, it talks about how much the trucks and things, they charge power and things like that. Would there be sometimes if you're doing something that somebody gets something extra done that you would charge them for the use of the equipment?
Yeah, that's correct. And like, we cut grass for the county and we charge the municipalities we charge for.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Okay, anyone else with questions? Carol?
There we go. You can hear me there.
Yes.
I believe I'm in the right part here. There was fees to do with building permits in regard to agriculture structures, and cover all buildings were priced differently. I'm just curious if we need to keep that or if that's something we could look at. I know maybe it's not the place here, but I believe they get a cheaper rate than a normal building But at the end of the day, there's not that much different. These coverall buildings are so complex anymore. It's just something building department should put in their back pocket maybe for review. I think we should adjust that so that they're equal with any agriculture building, whether it's an agriculture building or a coverall. Just
I can,
mention it.
I can make a note of that, Councillor Hurlick, and we can consider it when we're reviewing the building fees in February, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's perfect. I just thought I'd put it out here right now. At the end of the day, people are using them for barns and heifers and everything, and they're so complex anymore. It's really not that much different from a shed or a barn. The utilities, water, everything in them. So, no, thanks.
Okay, anyone else with questions? Seeing no questions, we have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report dated November 2nd, 2021, entitled 2022 Fees and Charges prepared by the Treasurer for information, and that Council give 3 readings to bylaw 60-2021, being a bylaw to establish and require payment of various fees and charges for services provided by the municipality, and to repeal bylaw 63-2020. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. Okay, anything else, Rhonda?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move to Public Works, and the first item is a Quality Management System QMS update, and I believe Jake is going to give that.
Thanks, Mayor Eggets, and good evening, everyone. So this report is kind of an update for all things water related over the past year and change. Typically this goes to council in the early summer, but being we had a change in the operating authority back in June, we had actually went through a transitional audit and then on to a full audit just recently at the end of October. Bear with me here. So one of the items that needs covered in the QMS is a quality management representative. And I'm looking for council to appoint myself as the representative. Myself and our chief operator, Matt Gable, prepared the transitional and then the full operational report, or operational plan, I should say, which you guys should have. So I'm very familiar with that, and Matt and I are very keen on getting residents of Perth East the best water we can. So another item that actually is required within the operational plan is we have to have a management review meeting each year. We just had that meeting here in October and met with Wes and Matt and everybody involved in water. You should have the meeting minutes there for you guys for reference. We had no issues over the past year, none since we've taken over on June 1st. So everything's going quite well thus far. And we've actually had our ministry audits just recently for the year 2021. Our 2020 audits went well, and we had no non-conformances. And I think that is all.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Any questions for Jake? Hugh?
On page 162, they talk about lead sampling, but I'm assuming that there's no more lead in the system. That's just simply from the ground itself, like just naturally occurring.
We still are required by ORAG to sample. I think it's every 5 years. We've never had any issues with our lead, so I wouldn't anticipate that's going to change.
Okay, nope, that's fine.
Okay, anyone else with questions? See no questions. We have a motion that the Council of the Township of Perth East receive a report entitled Quality Management System QMS Update dated November 2nd, 2021, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information. And that council receive the attached drinking water quality management standard DWQMS Management Review Meeting Minutes dated October 12, 2021, and the Township of Perth East Drinking Water Systems Operational Plan dated October 22nd, 2021 for information. And that council appoint the Operators Coordinator as the Quality Management System representative as found in the attached operational plan element number 4. Moved by Hugh. Second by Amanda. Any more comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, the next report is a dust suppressant contract extension, and Wes, the floor is yours. Or are you doing it, Jake?
Leave it to Wes.
I think it's a Wes. Okay, Wes, floor is yours.
Good evening. We're looking to do an extension on our calcium. Last year we had Holland doing it for us, and we were very happy with their performance, and they've offered to hold the price, so it would be a savings to us.
Okay, thanks, Wes. Any questions? They didn't offer to do it for more than 1 year, did they? Just the one.
Just one. I think with
Just
fuel
one.
prices.
Okay. No more questions. The Council of the Township of Perth East received a report entitled Dust Suppressant Contract Extension, Holland Distribution Inc., dated November 22, 2021, prepared by the Manager of Public Works and Parks for information, and that confirmed by this resolution, the Manager of Public Works and Parks be authorized to execute a 1-year contract extension with Holland Distribution Inc., 552976 Ontario Limited for the supply and application of dust suppressants. We have a mover and a seconder, moved by Jeremy, second by Andrew. Any more questions? All in favor? Carried. Anything else, Wes?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have nothing from building, nothing from rec, nothing from fire. We have no correspondence. We are down to council and committee reports. We have the meeting log of where I was for the month of October. Is there any questions on any of those items? No, okay. Anyone have any reports that they would wish to give at this time? Or any committees they sit on? No. Okay, so we have a motion that the members of council mayor's meeting log dated October 2021 be received for information. Moved by Daryl. Second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, we have two bylaws. We have bylaw, the first bylaw is 59/2021, being a bylaw to establish development charges for the corporation of the Township of Perth East. And we have bylaw 60/2021 to establish and require payment of various fees and charges for services provided by the municipality. And these are to be read a first, second, third, and final time. We have a mover for the bylaws. Moved by Amanda, second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. We do not have a need for closed session. We have any notice of motions? Nope. Okay, new business. Daryl has a couple items for new business. So Daryl, what was your first item for new business?
Well, I'm pretty sure I have this right. So the Perth closure there, just concerned here. We closed it the other day with this outbreak in Milverton. And I just have concerns. Say there was an outbreak in Northeast Oak Public School. Would that trigger a closure of the perk? Or what parameters and what distances is triggering that closure? I didn't see anything that it was directed by public health, so I'm just curious. You know, we really don't have solid policy on it that I'm aware of. If somebody could-
So I'll take a stab at it. Becky and Teresa and I had a meeting or a phone call last Saturday morning. Milverton School is closed and it's closed for a week. So a lot of those kids play hockey in Milverton. So it was felt that because the school was closed, that we should close the arena because you have many families coming in from all different places to play hockey. So at first we talked about just minor hockey, and then we decided that because, you know, people, the adults go, they take their kids, they're running around the arena, and to be on the safe side, we decided that the arena probably should be shut for the week. And that was the reason, because we're in a state of emergency. I guess I had the final word and I was the one that closed it. So, but Becky and Teresa and I had a conference about it. So I don't know, Becky and Teresa, do you have anything you wish to add? No?
Okay,
I-
no,
Just hang on, Teresa wants to say something.
No, sorry. I really don't have anything to add. And one of the things is we're still, Perth East is still in a declared state of emergency. And as part of the emergency control group, there is the ability to make those calls. And without having to call a special meeting of council, as Mary gets indicated, as the head of council, she has the ability to make those calls.
Okay, and Becky?
Just to comment that it wasn't just the hockey players too. We had a positive case from our dance class that had been there, and that's was quite a concern of the staff. They were canceling the upcoming week, as was figure skating. So we were getting some of the groups canceling on their own, and that's why I had called Teresa and Mayor, I guess, was just in regards to concern that some groups are already seeing concern there, and we just thought we should take the next step.
okay, interesting. Yeah, I just didn't know what would trigger it for sure. And yeah, I see what you're saying here. It's under the orders were under, yeah, you can make those calls. And I just wanted to know, I had some people reach out to me and just wondering how that would and what area would trigger that necessarily. So no, thanks.
Okay, and did you have another item, Daryl, you want to ask?
Yeah, sure. No, I had a concerned constituent here reach out to me and pointed out to me that our archived Zoom meetings have been pulled down basically, except the last meeting, I believe. And I checked and yeah, they're not there. I'm just concerned what kind of policy or procedure we're going to have on that. People like going back. I know even myself, I enjoy it. I see the remove. So I'm just curious why this happened. I know I looked around the municipalities around myself here. You can go back a year and a half and they're all available. So I'm just curious what triggered or where we're going to go with this. Thanks.
I'll let Teresa answer that.
Okay, thank you. So just when we went into Zoom meetings, it's certainly, going into Zoom meetings and being able to have our meetings like this is certainly great for the public. From a records management perspective and administration, it makes it difficult in terms of managing what was actually what actually happened at the meeting. So there's a bit of from, like, as I say, from a records management perspective, it's difficult to manage. As per the Municipal Act, the minutes are the record of what happened at and what was the outcome at a council meeting. So there seems to be a little bit of confusion in terms of, or it can create a little bit of confusion in terms of what was actually what actually was the end result of the meeting. So as per the Municipal Act, no note or comment. And when we have the meetings there seems to be a little bit of confusion. So basically, from accountability, transparency, as well as for their storage capacity as well. So that is the reason that those meetings have been actually archived.
Okay, Daryl?
So they are archived then, those meetings, is what you're saying, that have been removed? I know we talked about this when we were going to go live within the council chambers. We had said after so many months back, we would start archiving them. And I'm almost positive we had said we would leave the last few months up, so people can go back at them and then be archived. We were creating policy. Yeah, it's just, again, I was off that they've been pulled down, and yeah, we're talking transparency and clarity, and I'm getting it at the other angle, what he was trying to hide. And I'm like, at the end of the day, the recorded minutes are there, but I know people, it's the world we're living. They want to watch like they do in live stream. That's what people do. Corporate media is nothing anymore. It's completely broke and owned by the government, and people are loving local council, live streaming. People are always seeking the truth and seeking what's important locally. So yeah, it's important. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing them left up there a little longer, that's for sure. But anyways, anybody else has concern? Thanks.
Amanda?
Yeah, so thanks, Teresa. I have some follow-up questions. I wasn't aware that they were taken down, so that's concerning to me. I'm hoping to get two things clarified. So you were mentioning, I can't remember the exact phrase that you used, that there was creating confusion. I think it's just like, you know, the Ontario Legislature or the House of Commons. People can look back on the records, both in the written word and also through video. So I think it is imperative. My understanding, again, from a records management standpoint, and transparency, that we wanted that. It won't be long, and we're going to be in a municipal election. I think these are types of questions that people are going to be asking. And so I just want to be clear. You mentioned capacity. And so does it really come down to, do we need to purchase or spend more money on, like, is there like and again, I apologize, I don't know the details, but do we need a special YouTube account so that we can ensure, like, my understanding is if you have a YouTube account, you know, those records can remain live. Perhaps I'm wrong. I want to see if we have to purchase anything to ensure that those records remain live. Just hoping you could shed some light into why they were taken down without council's knowledge. And then just maybe some of the challenges of, providing some more insight into that. And then just clarifying your comments regarding perhaps the confusion component. So I think part of the reason that we wanted to have a live is that to ensure that there was no confusion between what was verbally said and also what was recorded down. So I just hoping you could provide some more clarity regarding that, because I think that would be really helpful.
So just in terms of with confusion, if we have members of the public, and just going back to, so it does fall within the area of a records retention bylaw within the clerk's department in terms of length of time which records are kept. And there are some revisions happening regarding that term for electronic, and including the Zoom meetings. Where the confusion comes when administration would get we would get communication in terms of, well, we had maybe the discussion was this, and really it was all of the discussion that happened at the end of the day, what that final motion was. So that's why if members of the public, there's this discussion going on and they're hearing this, but at the end of the day, this is what the final resolve is. So sometimes there's a little bit of confusion relating to that. That's where my comment came from, Amanda.
Okay, so sorry, Mayor, am I able to have a follow-up question regarding that, or do you want me to wait?
Oh, go ahead.
So that's helpful. I think, if my understanding, I mean, Rhonda, whoever's the chair, reads out the motion. So I think actually discussion is certainly helpful from a context standpoint for people. I can appreciate that there might be some misunderstanding in terms of the discussion and then what was finally agreed upon, but Rhonda always reads the motion. So I think it's just referencing that if there's ever concerned citizens. Do we have documentation where we've had concerned citizens raise that and how many times? And then also just you mentioned the policies regarding the recorded records. Could you elaborate on that? I just want to make sure it's clear and again, was it a storage capacity problem? Like I just trying to understand a little bit more what happened.
So just in terms of there is the storage capacity as well as following our records retention. And we actually don't have anything within our bylaw currently. So we follow TOMRMS and we don't have anything currently to allow for that for the Zoom meetings, right? Those electronic ones, we don't have anything incorporated in our bylaw for that.
So would it be better if Teresa brought back a report maybe on this and you can ask her the questions? I guess all the minutes are on our website too. So at the end of the day, it's what the council, the resolution, what counts. It doesn't, there is discussion and yeah, that all counts, but the public needs to know that whatever resolution is made at the end, that's council's decision and however it's voted on. And then council supports that resolution as a whole, even though sometimes people don't vote on it. The gist of it is that we all support that resolution. So they can go back to the website, they can see it. They may not get to see us right we are on a screen right now, but that information is all there. But it might be helpful, maybe if, I know Amanda has a lot of questions here that maybe if you want to bring back a report, that might be easier. And send your questions to Teresa and if that works, a staff report could come back at the next meeting. Jeremy?
I think on the staff report, we need to discuss how we go about keeping those records as well, like the digital records and the videos. I was a little bit surprised. I just thought there was an error there when Andrew sent an email out saying, hey, this is where I talked about this piece about the Shakespeare water system. I went back to reference it and I couldn't, and those videos weren't available as well. So that was something that would have been impactful for me. I would have been able to go back to what Andrew had suggested to look at because he talked about that. That was from our last meeting about the Shakespeare water system. So it's not just valuable to the residents, but it's valuable to us too, so that we can reflect back on what we might have discussed prior as well.
Teresa, do you want to add any more or?
No, that's fine. I can certainly bring back a report regarding this.
Okay, so then we'll have a motion to receive the verbal new business and a staff report will come back on the Zoom meetings. Okay. So I need a mover and seconder for that. Moved by Daryl, second by Amanda. All in favor? Carried. Okay, is there any other new business? Any announcements? If not, then we have the confirmatory bylaw, that bylaw 61, 2021, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Perth East at its regular meeting held on November 2nd, 2021, be read a first, second, and third time. Moved by Jeremy. Second by Andrew. All in favor? Carried. And that the meeting of council be adjourned at 7:45. Moved by Andrew. Second by Hugh. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, everyone. Short night. Stay safe, and we'll see you all again. Good night.